Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and continuing on with the Alien franchise. I just um, did a video on Alien, so now we're looking at Aliens 2. By the way, I forgot to mention in the previous video that I'm actually redoing this because I accidentally deleted all the files, uh, all the files of a particular week. I didn't mean to go that far into deleting those files from my phone, but uh, yeah. So I'm redoing this. I actually finished watching it a few weeks ago. But yes, this is a movie just like Alien that I've seen multiple times, and therefore it is going to be fresh in my mind. I just did a rewatch of it also, so it is pretty awesome. Aliens 2, bigger, better. Is it better? It's debatable. Uh, Bolder, yes, to a certain extent as well, but it is bigger. So the sequel, I don't know why they took such a long time, but it came out only in 1986. This is of course written and directed by James Cameron, but we do have Sigourney Weaver coming back in her iconic role as Ellen Ripley, and Jonesy the cat is there as well. And then we see a new set of cast including Michael Biehn, Paul Reiser, Lance Henriksen, Carrie Henn, uh, excuse me, and Will Paxton. Okay, Mark Ronson, Rico Ross, Daniel Cash, and a few others. Colette Hiller, I believe, is the yeah, and Colette Hiller as well. Yes. So this movie, like I said, and even though it came out in 1986, it is set 55 years, something like that, in the future. So it took that long for Ripley's pod to actually reach Earth, and when she's recovered and saved, rescued rather, I should say, and she comes back. She comes back to consciousness. They tell her that it's been this many years. She had a young daughter who was growing up on Earth, and even she is passed away of old age. So Ripley is now alone. She is brought in front of the Weyland Yutani Corporation members, and she tells them about the threat of this particular alien on this particular moon with all the aliens in it, and she tells them not to go there. However, she finds out they don't believe her because as she finds out, for the past 20 years, they've actually had a colony on the humans have had a colony on that planet, and nothing so far. 10 years or 20 years. LV426, that's what they call that moon. It is. It's 57 years actually from the that she's in stasis. Uh, yeah, so they don't mention it in the Wikipedia page, but I remember it as being as around 10 to 20 anyway. So they are actually doing mining on the planet. So they don't believe her. They think she's hysterical. She loses her license, so now she's working at kind of like a small dead-end job as a pilot or something like that. And so she's trying to settle back into life when suddenly Paul Reiser's character, who's the one who kind of like the only person who seems to believe her and seems to be on her side, he and a Marine comes. They come to meet her and tell her that they've lost contact with all life. They've lost contact with. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. So yeah, they call her Newt. In fact, she calls herself Newt, but her name is Rebecca Jordan. She's the only survivor. She quickly forms a bond with Ripley, especially Ripley having missing her daughter. And finding out that she's dead. They both bond together. Michael Biehn's character Dwayne Hicks kind of like becomes a sort of love interest, but nothing actually happens. But yeah, he's kind of like the person that Ripley will trust, and they become a little close as well. So one by one, all these soldiers start getting killed. They try to barricade themselves. They've got a lot of weapons, but unfortunately, nothing really happens out of it. So in the end, it is the android Bishop who initially Ripley was very hostile towards because she had the bad experience of Ash from the first movie. but he ends up being I mean, he's a different version. He doesn't have the. He's more there to protect all the humans. So uh, he gets cut in half by the alien queen, and Newt is saved by Sigourney Weaver using that awesome scene in that, I don't know what you call that thing. Um, uh, Exosuit cargo loader. That's what it's called. It's an awesome scene. Get away from her, you bitch. That's a beautiful scene. Amazing fight scene also, and Ripley managed to get her killed, the queen killed, and she saves Newt. Um, Hicks is, the acid goes onto his eye or something like that, and actually that is what happens. And he's blinded, so he's rescued by Ripley. The partial body of Bishop is she managed to drag on back to their um, ship, and then they blast off into space. So a few things I want to want to talk about this movie is, one, there is this character in this movie that's such a caricature of sergeants and stuff. What's his name, by the way? Oh yeah, I think his name is Reed. No, sorry, that's not him. Let me see. The sergeant is played by Alexander Basil Matthews, I believe that's his name. And he is this caricature of the cigar chomping African American sergeant. I mean, he is like ridiculous. He is terrible. I don't know, he was maybe asked to act like that, but that was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was just a comedy kind of, and not in the good way comedy. Bill Paxton was more of a comedy role in this movie. And the other character is Pharaoh, I believe, played by Colette Hiller. It's kind of difficult because there are no pictures of the actors in this, so let me have a quick check. I think that's she plays a Hispanic character, but sorry, it's not Colette Hiller. It's I think her name is Cynthia Dale Scott, maybe. No, Vasquez, Janet Goldstein, who I believe was actually Hispanic, but she may not be Hispanic. She's actually Jewish. But she plays a Hispanic character, Vasquez, and again, the other thing about this movie that I don't like is she comes off as being another caricature. Whenever we see women roles, especially, I don't really think you see it nowadays, and that's a good change. But earlier on, you see women in these tough roles. There always seems to be overcompensating for something, and that's something that I never liked. Like, just let me at them. I've got my machine gun and I'm tough. I'm going to blow them all away, and she gets killed. I don't know, that it kind of put me off her character a lot. So I didn't really mind that she had passed away in this movie, the character, not the actress. I just felt like there's several movies like that throughout the 80s and 90s where you find like the woman soldier, and they are overconfident and all that stuff. So at least they don't do that nowadays. So I think that's actually a positive thing. Other than that, the movie is actually perfect. It's one of the best sequels to have ever been released. And it solidified James Cameron's position as an amazing director, with all the stuff that he's done. Excuse me, I've got a cold. So, extremely good cast, a lot more aliens, more deaths, and, a lot of weaponry and weapons and stuff done. Dirt and grime all over, it seems. And yeah. Overall, I think this is the funny part. I can't really decide which one is better. To me, at times it feels like, because it's a lot more Aliens. I guess I might veer towards Aliens as a better movie. I don't know. I think both of them 8.5, 8.5 out of 10 is what I feel I want to give. Even though the other one is really iconic, this one is too, and I think with the additional actors that are there in it, I think they do a bang up job. You know, Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, Michael Bain, they're all amazing. And Paul Reiser, that's another thing. He turns out to be a turncoat actor, turncoat person, a character, and almost a villainous role, and he never plays those kind of roles. I've known him more for his comedic stuff, so it is actually a difference to see him in this kind of a role. Minus the couple of negative things that I did mention earlier about character-wise, I think this is an awesome movie. So 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, let's just give this as my favorite of the Alien franchise until the prequel movies have come. So thank you guys. I shall see you again pretty soon.